What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to r/AskReddit with my comedically terrible artwork, where today we're going to be talking about some absolutely insane legal loopholes. Alright, so the AskReddit question was, what is the greatest completely legal loophole you know about? And I apologize, not all of these are going to have my terrible artwork. I've just got a lot on my plate with this new gig, and so I only had time to do a few. One that is no longer in use, but I heard about it a long time ago and thought it was genius. During the 1970s, a Bulgarian human rights dissident was expelled from his home country to West Germany. He figured out his own private way to get back at Soviet communism. Once a month, he chose a dissident imprisoned in the Soviet Union and wrote him a personal letter. But before mailing it, he would take it to the post office and have it insured against being opened or tampered with. The Soviet government, naturally, would intercept the letter, open it, and photocopy the contents. But because the letter was insured, they would have to pay the insurance award. If they didn't, they would be kicked out of the International Postal Union. The IPU let the Bulgarian dissident do this a maximum of one time a month so as not to abuse the insurance system. So for years, this man would write a letter of support to an imprisoned human rights activist in the USSR. And 1 month later, he would receive a check from the USSR for a total of $400. That's pretty brilliant. I've got to admit, that is really smart. Stick it to the Reds. Suing telemarketers. A lot of people don't know that telemarketers break a lot of laws because pretty much no one calls them out on it or threatens to sue. Here's a write-up someone did on it with sources, and I've included that link in the description. You know, it's kind of weird to think about suing telemarketers because you can't really get their info super easily, but at the same time, it makes total sense that you should be able to. I mean, I remember when I was in college, I used to work for a telesurvey system, and I was specifically told, unless they say the words, "take me off your list," or something extremely similar, like remove me or get me off or something like that, we had no legal obligation to do so and therefore could keep calling them. And it seemed really shady. But then again, at the same time, I was getting paid based on a productivity rate. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just keep them in the system and let them be someone else's problem. I don't know. It's a whole shady industry. And I only stayed at that survey place for about 4 or 5 months, thankfully, because it was soul draining. I used to work for a credit processor, which is the company that handles the network your credit transactions move across. Swipe a card at a merchant, it goes to the credit processor who determines which financial institution the card belongs to and authorizes/declines the charge through them, then reports back to the merchant. Anyways, one of our clients was a major bank, one that you'd definitely know. We were investigating a recurring network issue that we couldn't really pin down. Every month, this financial institution's network would strain and overload around the same day/time once a month. We didn't have any errors logged that weren't a result of the strain, no identifiable cause, no processes running at that time, and they weren't doing maintenance, which was just a formality since the issue was on our network. So I'm idly watching transactions roll across the big screen when it starts flooding with the same line. We got hit with something around 35,000 transactions all at once from the same source. Did some cross-referencing, and sure enough, we could see the same thing had happened every time the problem occurred, and always the same account. So we called the financial institution and explained it to them. They looked into it, and here's what they shared with me. They had a promotion going on for their bank card to award 100 bonus points every time someone used their bank card to pay bills online. No minimum to that, no qualifier that the bill had to be paid in its entirety. So this guy wrote a script to pay $350 by 1 cent transactions and racked up bonus points on his bank card. So if you had that incentive and wonder why it went away, you can thank that guy. And me for narking him out, I guess. You didn't really narc him, that would have gotten figured out eventually. But still, that's, what a workaround. Frick. In Denver, the city places about 10 photo radar vans at various locations around the city. If you're speeding, the radar van snaps multiple pictures of the driver, the car, and the license plate. A few weeks later, a ticket arrives in the mail with the pictures and a $40 fine, $80 in a work zone. However, there is a beautiful little clause at the bottom of the ticket that says, If you are not the person pictured in the violation notice, you may sign and mail in the Not Pictured Driver Affidavit located on the back of your notice of violation or penalty assessment notice. You must submit a legible, clear photocopy of your driver's license with the Not Pictured Driver Affidavit. This affidavit and the supporting documentation will be reviewed by a Denver Police Department employee, and a determination will be made regarding the identity of the actual driver. If further investigation is required, you may be contacted by the Photo Enforcement Unit. If it is determined that you are not the driver, the case against you will be dismissed. My parents figured out this loophole years ago and have had their cars registered to each other for many years, for the sole reason of getting out of photo radar vans speeding tickets. That's pretty brilliant, I gotta admit. Well played. And I'm not saying that I've done this personally or anything, but I am just gonna say there are other little loopholes like this throughout many states in the country. For example, did you know that in Montana, if your car is 10 years or older, that you can register it for the remainder of its lifetime, so you never have to do smog or emissions or anything like that ever again? Yeah! Did you also know that buying property in certain parts of Montana is extremely cheap? Again, I'm not saying I've ever done this, but, you know. That was our /AskReddit, and if you want a playlist of more funny, badly drawn Reddit, then go ahead and click on the link here. Or, if you want a playlist of assorted AskReddit funny videos, go ahead and click on the link here. Now you guys stay safe, stay healthy, I will see you all on Tuesday. Until then, stay beautiful, people.